Hello, and you are listening to Oneness Project Light One-on-One with Israel Kelly. I'm your host, Cassandra. For those of you that are new, welcome, and thank you for joining us. This is week 3 in our series, and just to give you a quick summary of our format, each week I will be asking Israel questions on a particular topic that will enhance our understanding of life, the universe, and the world around us. As many of you already know, Israel Kelly is a life coach who is fully coalesced with source energy and has been granted with the universal knowing. He is here to bring messages of love to humanity from the divine and to facilitate all of us with the expansion of our consciousness. Last week we discussed the universal law of attraction. Tonight we will explore the mysteries of death. We also have a very special guest joining us later. Here he is now. Hello, Israel. Welcome.
I am extremely grateful and happy to be here, Cassandra. Thanks for having me.
Hi, Israel. After reviewing our episode from last week on the universal law of attraction, I realized I forgot to ask you one important question. Can you please explain what the vortex is for our listeners who are new to the law of attraction? Thank you.
Yes, the vortex is very simple to understand. It's the way we feel about things. When we are happy, when we are content, we are in the vortex. When we are mad, disappointed, discouraged, we are out of the vortex. When we feel or have emotions that are positive, we are within the vortex. We are within the vicinity of the things we want to have manifest in our wishes. That's within the vortex. When we are not able to keep control of our emotions and we get disappointed, we get discouraged, we get feeling sad, we dismotivate ourselves thinking that things should be a certain way, then they are not, then we are out of vortex. Vortex is a state of mind. The more positive state of mind we have about the things we want, the more within the vortex we are.
Thank you for your explanation, Israel. That was great. Now moving on with our chosen topic, death. Are all deaths predetermined, meaning no deaths are accidental? Did we choose the way we die before we incarnated in our physical body?
Those are very good questions, Cassandra. We are non-physical energy now occupying physicality for the purpose of having a new experience on time-space. If we predetermine how the experience is going to end, it won't be experience. It's like going to the movie theater and watching a movie in which you know already how the movie is going to end. There's no fun in that. We do not plan anything as we need the experience. Coming into physicality and having predisposed or predetermined how we're going to end it will make sense and will defeat the purpose of coming to physicality and having a new experience and creating a reality in the first place.
Wow, okay, that's really interesting because I always thought that they were. Moving on to question 2. Israel, can you please explain what happens when someone dies?
When we re-emerge to non-physical, we leave our physicality behind and we leave all negativity. We are pure joy, we are energy back into non-physical form. We come back to all there is. We come back to being unconditional love again. We go on and we detach ourselves from any physical feeling. We do not have any memories of negativity or anything that attaches to the physical form we just left. We're pure joy, unconditional love, and we stay like that until we decide when we're going to come back again for another experience.
That is so beautiful. My next question is, are we able to communicate with our loved ones who have transitioned over to non-physical?
While on non-physical, on physicality, we are able to communicate with anybody, any the consciousness of those family members or friends, people we know in physicality, as they become part of all there is. We will have to remove that resistance and doubts in order to make that communication possible, and we will have to stay in the vortex. In my case, I don't try to communicate with anybody, because the way I see it, the way I perceive that energy, it is in a different way. As I'm not trying to speak to the person, what represents the person while they were in physical form, but the essence of who they are, which is a non-physical, eternal essence. The soul, the energy. The after leaving the physical body becomes part of all there is. So there's no difference in between what you're going to call a family member or friend of yours. It's all part of all there is, and the communication is possible if the person removes resistance and doubts.
That's really wonderful news. I'm sure many people are happy to hear that. Now moving on to our next question. Israel, how do other non-physical beings recognize one another without a body? Do we keep the same physical appearance in spirit form for a short period of time after we die, or do we turn into a ball of energy?
And about the appearance we have, while we don't have a physicality, we don't have a form that could be explained to humans, as we are energy. And that energy is constituted in a way that cannot be explained with simple words. Energy cannot be perceived with your eyes. Like, if you try to see electricity, just to have an example of energy, if you try to see in a wire electricity, it's invisible. There's nothing there, which is exactly what happened when you are in non-physical form. As you don't have a physicality, you don't have a form that humans can understand.
Okay, so I guess that one will remain a mystery for all of us. Now, how soon after we die are we able to reincarnate into another physical being?
About reincarnation, and the time that it takes for us to come back, as we don't have time while on non-physical form, we cannot apply the terms of time to calculate when we're going to come back for another experience. As in non-physical realms and other realities, the time doesn't apply like in our time space.
Okay, well that makes sense. Now, what's more difficult, birthing into a physical body or dying?
There are no difficulties in between coming back into a physical form or re-emerging to non-physical. There are both decisions taken in other realms, and the sequence of events coming in to physical form or leaving or re-emerging to non-physical doesn't have any difficulties at all. It's the most natural thing. It's a transition that happens when to fulfill the sequence of that reality, of that experience. Even the experience of re-emerging to non-physical is part of the experience. It's part of reality as well.
Well, that's good to know. My final question for you is, should death be celebrated or mourned, and why?
There are no should or shouldn't on creation, and death or the transition in between physical to non-physical is part of the experience, is part of the creation. It depends how the human who stays on earth take that reality. For most people, they have to go through the reality of the pain and feeling sad. Non-physical, spiritual, doesn't have an opinion regarding how humans choose to see or feel about the reality. They are going through experience, and for them, that experience they're going through is their reality. So if they do not remember who they are, meaning that they don't remember they are a non-physical energy now occupying physicality, and the person who left, or that entity who left and now is non-physical as well, it went to reunite with that essence of life, which is eternal and divine. If they do not understand any of that, it's okay for them to be sad until they're ready to remember who they really are, which is exactly no difference in between themselves as humans and the person who just left and did the transition from physical to non-physical.
Thank you for that explanation, Israel. That was great. Joining us now is our special guest. She's 11 years old from Ontario, Canada, and has some questions for Israel. Hello, Alayna. Welcome to our show.
Hello.
Alayna, I understand you have some questions regarding the mysteries of death for Mr. Kelly.
Yes.
Okay, you can go ahead, sweetheart.
Mr. Kelly, can you please tell me why do we die? 2, does heaven exist? If so, is it white? And 3, can a person choose to live forever?
Elena, my dear, thank you for being part of this interview. It's a privilege to have you here. We never die, sweetheart. We change forms from physical to non-physical. Life is eternal. And your question about heaven. Heaven is a way that humans understand the place where is God. However, God is everywhere. God is omniscient. He knows everything. And He's in everywhere. And about if heaven is white, let's say that the place in which God is it doesn't have a color. So it's not white or have a color that can be perceived by humans. And your question about if a person can be forever, you are, while you're on planet Earth, you're an actress. We have actresses and actors, people who come here to have experiences, like when you go into the park. You go into the park to play. When you go into watch a movie at the theater, you go in there because you want to have a good time. When you come into a physical form, you do so because you want to experience. And then when it's time for you to move from one reality to the next one, then you will leave your body here and your spirit will reunite with God until you're ready to come back again.
Well, that concludes our show for this evening. Join us next week for part 2, where we will explore the so-called Darkside Mysteries of Death, like ghosts, paranormal, haunted houses, and more. You won't want to miss it. Thank you so much, Israel, for enlightening us more on the mysteries of death. And thank you to our special guest, Elena, for your excellent questions. It was a pleasure having you on our show. You are welcome to come back at any time, dear. Until next time, this is Cassandra for Oneness Project Light One-on-One with Israel Kelly. Thanks for listening.
My endless gratitude to you, Cassandra, for all the time that you are devoting to put this work together and for becoming one of the lights that is helping others to see clear. All blessings for you and your family.
Thank you so much, Israel. It is my pleasure to be doing this work with you.
Bye.